Alright, y'all, so today we are going to be going over the Keyblades from Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, we're going to be basing this tier list on functionality of a Keyblade as a real weapon against a sword or an axe. Now, I will say, I'm not like a sword expert, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but we're also going to be judging them on like their cool factor as well, because it's my video, not yours. And yeah, we'll be going over Kingdom Hearts 2 in a later video, but I want to just go over, I want to kind of section them off and go over Kingdom Hearts 1 and then Kingdom Hearts 2. We won't be covering the other games because it's just kind of more of the same. And they're also not played as much, so it's more of just the same Keyblades, or maybe it's just like a slightly different art design on ones that are in the other games. So yeah, we'll be skipping those, just 1 and 2. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it, but before we do, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and yeah, wash your hands. Keyblade number 1 is going to be the standard, the Kingdom Key. You know, as iconic as this is, here we'll even go to a bigger image here. As iconic as this is, right? It's more so functional as like a blunt weapon, not necessarily a blade. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could hit them with like the spiky key end and maybe get some like damage done because it kind of focuses in on a point. I wouldn't want to get hit with it, so I'm gonna put it in like C tier. Yeah, OG Keyblade goes into C tier. Alright, next one is Soul Eater. Now this one here, I would say this one's pretty good, actually. This one, I don't know, it definitely has like a sword-like profile to it, but the only issue I see is kind of this little like section right here. Now you could use it if you're skilled, you could like use it to like maybe like hook your opponent's blade and like parry it, but I also kind of, you know, see that it's so big you might get caught in there. And then the cross guard is not very solid. Maybe it is, I don't know, it kind of would deflect it away, possibly. These here would kind of catch any sort of blade or axe running across the back here. And then if you did want to flip this blade over and kind of use that as like a, you know, like you can use the tip up here. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it's pretty cool. So we'll put this, we'll put this at A. That's definitely an A tier weapon right there. At least in the Kingdom Hearts universe, like if you gave me that and said, all right, you got to fight a guy with an actual sword, I'd be like, all right. I'm not totally, I'm like, I look like a mall ninja, but I'm not totally at a disadvantage. The Kingdom Key D. Not sure what that means, but let's see what we can do here with this. I mean, it's really the same exact thing as the other one, so we're gonna go ahead and put this in C as well. It is gold though, so we'll put it like a little bit above that one. Let's see what's next. Lady Luck. Now Lady Luck here is an interesting one because it has this like heart that kind of, it comes to a point right there. The cross guard's actually pretty solid. You know, it's a good cross guard. The only issue is that it's facing the wrong way. These all face the wrong way. Now I get that, you know, it's 2D image, and so it's part of the design, but it's also, if we're looking at it in real practical terms, it's not very good. Now I have, they do make real like Keyblade replicas, and the grips or the crossguard on it rotates. So if you could like rotate it and lock it into the like regular crossguard shape that's like that's like a sword, that would be awesome. But otherwise, this is a pretty useless design here because it doesn't, I don't know, if you look at a sword, it's not right. But yeah, I would say this would function pretty well as like an axe or like a, you know, like a pole arm. You know, if you get whacked on the noggin with that thing, it would be pretty bad. So we'll put this in B tier for sure. We'll put that over in B. Next one is, what is the name of that? Oathkeeper. Now, Oathkeeper looks pretty cool, but cool factor only gets you so far in this. We're judging it mainly on its practicality as a weapon. And it's not looking good here, right? Let's look at this. See, it's got these like points here, right? But they're all so small. They look like they'll snap off the second you hit something with that, especially if it's like an armored opponent. And then this thing is not like one cohesive piece of metal. It's all like you'd have to weld all that together or something. And I don't know if they have welders in the Kingdom Hearts universe, but you know, yeah, this is probably going in D tier. I have a really hard time. Actually, this is F. This is F tier. This can't be a practical weapon. It just can't be a practical weapon. Well, yeah, we're going F with that one. Okay, this is the Ultima weapon. Ultima weapon. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit. I don't know. I don't even want to say that it's. I don't even want to say it's better because it's really not. They're trying this guy in, boy. All right. So, as a weapon. The sad thing about this is it's pretty much a sword, but it's got a bunch of bullcrap on it. So if you knocked all this bullcrap off of it, it'd actually be a good weapon. It'd essentially just be a sword. And so I'm tempted to like put it higher because it does have a decent design. But I'm going to have to knock it down to like D tier, I think, because it's got whatever this is, blocking the cutting edge. And then this could, you know, once again function as like a halberd like thing, you know, or an axe, you know, coming down on top of like a knight's head or something like that. So we'll put this in D tier because at least it's not gonna fall apart like Oathkeeper does. Oathkeeper looks like the second you hit someone with it, it's gonna collapse. The next one, though, is Olympia. So we'll go ahead and look at Olympia here. Olympia actually looks like a solid weapon. This looks like it looks like it has an edge right here, which is actually pretty cool. And then we have like a hammer at the top here. So this is essentially like, I don't know, a 2-in-1 esque deal. And then you also do kind of have like a bit of a blunt end right here coming to a bit of a point on this end. So you have, I guess, 2 hammers and then a sword. And then you also have a blade right here for, I guess, like binding and catching swords and axes. So that, honestly, that's going to put Olympia in S tier. We got our first S tier, and it's Olympia. This might be the best Keyblade of the thing, but we still have a lot to go. We have a whole nother game to go. We're not even halfway through Kingdom Hearts 1 yet. So next we have is 3 Wishes. 3 Wishes here. Ooh, if I can pull it up. I want to give this one some redeeming qualities because it's like it does have like this point right here that you could kind of use to, you know, like a shoot, what's the thing, a warhammer or like a polearm or something. I do kind of like this little hook right here, although I will say this just kind of looks like a Lego hand, like like you just stuck a Lego dude's hand right there. This little piece right here is cool because you do see this on real swords, I think. And then this crossguard's alright. It's actually pretty solid. You know, it dips down right here to kind of catch any sort of like sword and kind of bring it down to a point right there. You've got these little nubbins here to kind of give you a little bit of extra hand protection there. And then it's like a full basket right there almost. So I would say for this one, 3 Wishes, I'll put it at C. I'll put it high C, though, because I do think it's a tiny bit better. It has a little bit more functionality than these other 2 Keyblades, but not quite as much in terms of, like, offensive ability as Lady Luck here. So, maybe, honestly, it'd kind of be, like, high C, low B. So we'll keep it high C for right now, but I want to stew on that one because I might put it low B later, just depending on how the other ones look. Anyway, I'll be right back. I gotta get water. Next one is Crab Claw. Yeah, that's going straight to F tier, man. That's pretty bad. No real crossguard there. Like, look at these. There's two little nubbins right there. Sword's going to skip straight down that and hit your hand. Now, you do have these guards here, but, whatever. And then this Crab Claw's not really doing anything. Like, that's going to snap off the second you hit someone with it, and then you just basically have a club. Honestly, you'd be better off snapping the crab off the Crab Claw. So, yeah, we're going straight down to F tier with that one. I will say, though, it's better than Oathkeeper because it's at least not going to fall apart. Now, our next weapon here is Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead. Now, this one's pretty cool. You got, like, some Jack Skellington vibes going on there. That might be who that is. I don't know. Very goth, very gauche, very, very chic, very avant-garde with this design here. But also pretty terrible. It's flimsy. Man, this thing's so thin, it's going to snap the second you use it. This is definitely Mall Ninja type stuff. Now, I will say in terms of cool factor, it's up there with the best of them, man. This thing looks pretty cool. But in terms of being a functional weapon, just like Crab Claw, you're better off snapping this little thing off, which it'll do the second you hit someone with it. This crossguard, I guess, is a little bit better, but I feel like you're going to just poke yourself a lot with that, trying to swing it around. So, we're going to go, like, high D tier for right now. We're going to go high D tier with that one. Let's see, next one, Jungle King. This one looks like it's got some, like, messed up teeth. Like, you know, I don't know. I hate the way this thing looks. And so in the looks department, we're definitely falling short there. But, like, in terms of functionality, you know, if we're rating it on functionality, I'd have to say, man, this one's tough because it's like, are they heavy bones? Are the bones on there heavy? You know, it's basically just a club with some little points on it, some little nubbins. So I guess we'll go like low C. It looks like it'll fall apart. It is definitely not as effective, I feel like, as any of these other three here. So it's definitely going to be low C tier for me right now. Next one is Wishing Star. Wishing Star. So this is interesting because it looks like it has like a spinny like razor blade thing on the end of it. Or like some gears. We have some gears down here as the crossguard. We have a pretty, you know, like interesting little design. We got like a basket surrounding our hand here, and then we've got a little tiny like deflector thingies. You know, bounce the swords off. You know, bouncy. But it seems like it's also very frail. The thing about a spinning little wheel on a weapon is that I feel like it's going to break off once you go to use it. So I'm going to have to put this once again high F tier. It seems like an overcomplicated design. Doesn't seem like it's going to last very long. Next one, though, this one I'm actually kind of excited about, Lionheart. Because this one, kind of similar to, what is it, Olympia, is just like a big club-like thing. Now, this lion head here, one, looks really cool, and two, kind of functions as like a hammer of sorts. Now, my only concerns with this one is that it's going to get caught on things when you go to swing it, because of these little, like the lion's mane here. So that is a concern of it getting like caught in clothing or stuck on like some armor or something like that. But this crossguard's pretty amazing. I mean, the only gripe I have about it is that it kind of angles down here. With this, yeah, I feel like you would have better protection if you had this go up. and maybe kind of curve to kind of follow these and give these a little bit more reinforcement. But overall, the crossguard's pretty solid. I like how solid this this overall kind of thing looks here. I don't know what to call it. The blade. So we're gonna go. Where have you gone, Lionheart? No. Oh, there you are. I thought I lost you. So we're gonna put it at like low S tier. That may shift down to A tier depending on these other weapons in our assessment. Next one is the Keyblade of Hearts. Pretty basic design, very minimal. This one looks like a good stabby weapon. I will say though, this is gonna be a barbed weapon. You know, this is gonna be one of those things where you poke it in them and it ain't coming back out. Now, I will say this part right here, you can like poke it in them and then kind of pull up to kind of wrench on them and like rip her guts out. But in terms of actually functioning outside of that, it's not a very versatile weapon. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. It's really only like a stab and it's not going to come out, so you better have a backup weapon, a Keyblade dagger, if you will. So we're going to put this in D tier. High D tier because it's just not very versatile. There's not a whole lot you can do with it. It is a one-trick pony, and you need to have a backup with it. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Spellbinder. Yeah, I don't even need to explain. That one's going straight to F. Straight up trash. Right to the bottom of F. Honestly, that handle looks so uncomfortable. That crossguard's pretty much non-functional. Once again, this thing looks like it's going to fall apart the second you swing with it. Now, I will give it some credit. It does have like a bit of an axe head to it. So maybe we'll actually move it up. Yeah, we'll put it at like a lower F tier because it doesn't look as cool as the crab one. And so it loses points for that. Okay, Fairy Harp. Let's Fairy Harp. Not bad, honestly. This one's interesting, guys. Now it's got a great crossguard here. Look at that. Very straight and across. We got some little nubbies right here to kind of catch blades, or maybe deflect them off a little bit further. You've got a nice blunt, but you could also maybe argue that that's sharp right there. Edge right here, and if it's not, that's a great hammer. That's a wonderful blunt weapon right there. And then you've also got this right here that you can kind of, I mean, it's not sharp, but you could definitely like thrust with it, and it's got a point right there, so it's gonna be a center point of contact, and it's gonna hurt if you stab someone in the gut with a blunt point like that. It's like kind of punching them in the gut. So we're gonna put Fairy Harp in A tier. Fairy Harp goes in A tier. Now, the Metal Chocobo. This one is a bit. This one's pretty good, actually. I will say, this one's pretty solid. If this is a sharp edge, right? If we made this a sharp edge, I don't imagine that it is. But if it is, you can't really tell in this image, but this is a sharp edge, right? And then you've got this little bit right here to kind of catch and maneuver an opponent's blade. You've got this. Actually, this is now that I'm kind of looking at it, I don't know what this would do here. I don't know why you would have this cut out here. If that would be any sort of way beneficial. This crossguard's all right. It does come out nice and straight. It doesn't like dip down or anything like that and kind of deflect it towards the body, except on these corners here. But kind of that's the general design of a Keyblade. So whatever. We're gonna go high C tier. with the metal chocobo. Alright guys, so there's like construction or something going on outside my house, so just ignore that noise in the background. So yeah, the chocobo is high C tier. Diamond Dust. Let's look at this one real fast. Diamond Dust. Get some water. Yeah, man, this one's pretty rough. This is probably high F tier. I mean, it's not like awful. It does have like a bit of an edge to it. It is a curved blade, so maybe we'll go high D tier. We'll go high D tier. It looks like it has some versatility, but you know me and cross guards. I like good cross guard. That ain't no cross guard. We're gonna skip it. One winged angel. This little fiery beast. Trash. Looks like these things are gonna snap off the second you swing it. This looks like it's gonna cut your hand. If we believe that the Keyblade guard is to rotate when you use it. So yeah, this is going straight to F, tier. And we're gonna go below the crab, because once again I like crabs, and it's got a crab on it, so that's gonna stay where it is. Once again, my video, not yours. Oblivion. This one's pretty sweet, because this one, it's got a nice little point on it at the very tip, good for stabbing. It's got a great axe head here with a nice good point on it, also great for stabbing. You got a nice edge right here, a little hook right here to catch and maneuver blades around. I love that. A pretty solid crossguard here to kind of catch and, once again, maneuver blades around. Now, my only big gripe here, there's these big pointy things right in the hilt. That's going to stab you in the hand, brother. That's going to stab you in the hand. This is going to be a painful one to use. So, for that, we're putting it like high B tier. And yeah, that's how I feel about that one. High B tier. No, Divine Rose is supposed to be the next one. Okay, we don't have a JPEG for Divine Rose. We don't have the big one. So we're just gonna have to use this little one and enhance it. Enhance that image, please. Now, this one here is a little bit strange, because it does have a pretty solid crossguard. I do like the thickness of the blade here. I like the vine kind of running down it. And obviously this rose here looks pretty hefty, and it's got some points to it, which gives it kind of the vibe that this would function very well as like a blunt hammer type weapon. And honestly, I think it would do a very solid job. I think this is honestly an S tier weapon right here. So that's it for all the weapons in Kingdom Hearts 1. We will be going over the Kingdom Hearts 2 weapons in the next video, so stay tuned for that. That's about it. Thanks again for watching, y'all. I really do appreciate you. Please join our Discord. We're starting to get more and more members in there. We also are streaming very often every week. Aiden streams twice a week. I stream once a week, and honestly, half the time I'm joining his streams, so you know, we are streaming 2 to 3 times a week now. We're posting 2 to 3 times a week, so make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, you know, hit the bell so that you don't miss out on any videos, and you know, like the video, share it with your friends, please. Do whatever you can to help us grow, because the more we can grow, the sooner we'll be able to get to a point where we can start making content for you guys full time. That's our goal. Is this year is to make it so that we can full-time make content for you guys, or at least one of us can. If anyone will, it's Aiden. So, but yeah, I'll quit yapping. That's about it for me. So, enjoy the rest of your day.